Welcome to Beam, the virtual showroom for furniture brands and retailers. Today, I will walk you through some of the core functions of the Beam app for iPad. At the top of the screen, you see three major modules: Discover, Products, and My Collections. When you enter the app, you arrive at the Discover module. Here you can explore the latest products and interior design trends and shop by brands or product categories. This is a good landing page to look for inspiration or navigate quickly to the exact products you're looking for. In the Products module, you can browse, select, and configure individual pieces and compositions. Here you can view the entire library of products and materials from all of Beam's partner brands. Finally, in My Collections, you can view and organize the products you have selected and configured. Our first partner to digitize their complete product portfolio is Whitman. If you click on Whitman's tile in the Discover module, you can instantly see all the products that are available in the Whitman catalog. Here at the top, you can see three categories to search by: furniture, compositions, or materials. Furniture lists all the single furniture pieces that are available from Whitman. Compositions presents pre-arranged interior designs for the Andes, Cayman, and Playtime families. Under Materials, you can find detailed digital copies of all the materials that are available from Whitman. Now, let's have a closer look at the Antibes Meadow material. First, you see a zoomed-in view of the material with a wave so that you can see how light behaves with the fabric. You can also swipe from the right to view the material's original size. Now, we have hundreds of materials here, and if you're more interested in leathers, you can simply go to the search bar in the top right and type leather to see all the leather materials that are available from Whitman. Let's take the color coffee. Here you first see the detailed view, and you can view the original size by swiping to the right. Please note, the original size is always adapted to your screen, as you can see with the scale bar in the bottom right corner. The Materials tab will also give you the possibility to pre-select materials. If you have found a material that you really like, you can add it to your favorites or to a certain collection by clicking on the three stacked dots to the right. Now, let's move on to furniture. First, I will clear my search, and now you can see a list of all the possible furniture provided by Whitman. To start with, I will select Lillian High. With Beam, you can zoom into a piece of furniture and see the material in every detail. By swiping your finger to the right, the chair turns to the right. By swiping your finger to the left, it turns to the left, and by clicking again, it stops. This feature allows you to view the furniture from all sides and see how the light is reflected off the materials. Now I would like to change the materials for Lillian High. To do this, there are two possibilities: either swipe from the right or long press on the selection you would like to change. Here we see the material selector has opened on the right and the inside cover is automatically selected. Here I have a list of all materials I can select for the inside cover. In the Whitman catalog, I can choose from velvet, leather, fabric, or I can also select from those materials I have saved as my favorites. For instance, I have previously saved the material Bormio Emerald. I just have to click on it and instantly see how the furniture will look with the selected material. Using the same method as before, I can turn the chair to see it from different angles. Now let's say I would like to not only change the inside cover, but also the outside. We have two possibilities. Either I click with a long tap on the outside cover, or I click here in the material selector on Cover Outside. Now I would like to have the outside cover in leather, So let's take a color such as Mustang Blue. Within seconds, you can create a realistic copy of the product you or your customer would like to live with for the next 10, 20, or more years, and you can see the product in a totally realistic way before ordering it. Of course, here in Beam, we can change all of the components that have multiple material selections in the catalog. For instance, I can change the feet to have the powder-coated brass satin finish. So as you can see, this dramatically facilitates the selection process for the client or your colleagues in the retail store, and it lets your clients shop with complete confidence. Now I will close out of this view and select another piece of furniture, for instance, the Paradise Bird chair. Alternatively to long clicking on the material, I can also manually drag the material selector from the right side into the screen. There are different types of Paradise Bird chairs. For example, there's the armchair, but there's also the high back chair, sofa, and several stool options. By selecting high back chair, I can instantly see a different shape of this piece of furniture. Now I would like to change just the piping. Piping, as you know, has a tremendous influence on the visual appearance of the product. I will select a cream-colored leather piping, and you can see within seconds the whole characteristic of the product has changed. I'm not sure if my client wants the powder-coated brass, but rather the soft copper. And with just a click, you can change to the soft copper. As with the first chair, I can swipe to rotate and click to stop. Now I have composed something I think my client will like, and I would like to share it with them. So what I do in this case is click on the plus button in the bottom left corner. There I have two possibilities, either to create a snapshot or to add it to a collection. First, I will demonstrate how to create a snapshot. Here in the snapshot view, you have three different types of snapshot. In the first snapshot, you can see the configured furniture with the Whitman background. In the second one, you see the same piece of furniture with a white background. And in the third, there is no background and you only see the piece of furniture. Where would you use this? If you would like to integrate this piece of furniture, for example, into a mood board, then you would select the third version. And if it is a standalone display, then you would select the first or the second version. An additional feature in the second and third versions is to use the slider on top to change the intensity of the shadow below, depending on which environment you plan to put the picture in. Now, all I have to do to share it is click on the send icon in the upper right corner, and the standard iOS dialog appears. You can send this image to any application you use, such as email, Teams, Skype, or WhatsApp. If I would like to add the chair to a collection, I just click on the plus button again and select Add to a Collection. Now I can either add it to an existing collection, or I can create a new collection by clicking on the top left tile and entering the name of a new collection. In one step, the new collection is created, and this piece of furniture has been added to the collection. Where do I find the selection? If I close this style and navigate to My Collections, I can see that a new collection has appeared, and if I open that collection, I see the piece of furniture I have just configured. Now here again we have these three small dots, and within the collection I can do a couple of things. I can remove this object from the collection, I can copy it to another collection, or I can move it to another collection. So far, I have covered the materials and the furniture, and now I will come to the last part, compositions. If I try to select compositions in my current view, you will see it is grayed out because I'm searching within the collection I just made. So I need to navigate back to either the products page or Whitman section of the Discover module. Now within compositions, I can see all of the compositions which exist for the 3 families I mentioned before: Andes, Cayman, and Playtime. For each family, there are 8 different compositions presented. Let's just start with Andes 1A. So I click on the composition and I'm taken into the configurator. By tapping on the right and on the left sides of the screen, I can change the view like before, and I can also click at the top of the screen so that I have an aerial view of the composition. As in the furniture view, I have the plus button in the bottom left that allows me to take a snapshot and add to a collection in the same way. Within the composition, I have the possibility to individually select the materials for each object. Let's assume I would like to change the material for this ottoman on the right. I just click on the object and the material selector opens. I select another material, and within seconds, I can see the result. I can close the material selector just by sliding it to the right, and by tapping on the screen, I can have a look at this object from different perspectives. Now, let's say I'm not completely happy with the look yet, so I just open the material selector, and now I can select the piping. In another moment, I've changed the piping for that object, and only the ottoman on the right side is selected, so only the piping for that object changes. Now let's assume I would like to change the materials for multiple objects. If I would like to keep my current selection, I just tap on the other objects I would like to change the material for to select them. But maybe I only want to change the material for one of the sofas, so I simply unselect by tapping again. Then I open the material selector, click on cover, and let's say I want to change both to Lima Olive. Currently, both the green ottoman and sofa are still selected. If I would like to change the materials of just the cushions, for example, I can either deselect manually, or in the bottom right corner, I have the option to clear selection. Now all of the current selections are cleared, and I can select just the cushions by tapping on them and opening the material selector. Now I would like to change the color of the cushions to green, and we instantly see them in green. Now let's select the table. So I quickly clear my selection, long tap on the table, and maybe I would like to see it in a more silver marble. But if I don't like the change I've made, I can always switch it right back to how it was before. I will clear the selection again, and now I will select all of the sofas because I would like to show you the piping possibilities. So the sofas can all be in red, and then I will choose a contrasting leather piping, maybe in the color cream. And you can see within seconds I have totally changed the characteristics of this composition. And as you know from before, you can create a snapshot and send it to your client with just 3 easy clicks. This is the base functionality of Beam. As you can see, it is very easy to use. You can use it together with your client in your showroom to facilitate the selection process, or the client can also download the application for free from the App Store for iPad and continue designing his or her furniture at home and get more engaged with your products. Thank you very much for your attention, and whenever you have questions, please feel free to contact our support team at support@beam.space.